What's up, YouTube? Been a while since I've actually been on here, and this is a video that needs to be done. So, what we're talking about today, I'm going to jump right into it, is ego. So, for those of those of you that don't know what ego is, that's basically, hold on, actually, I'm going to give y'all a definition. Okay. So if you want to look at the dictionary, it's a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. Now, a lot of you already understand what ego is, but I wanted to break this down. I break this down on purpose. So the thing is about ego, when you're looking at ego, I don't feel like ego is necessarily all bad, okay? So ego, I feel like, can also, because of the fact that it says self-esteem, that's also saying I'm great, I can do great things. You know, I've done great things. I'm a great person. And speaking life into yourself, I see absolutely nothing wrong with that. But your self-importance, when you're looking at going towards other people and your self-importance, this is where people get it a little messed up. And that's in spirituality, eating right, freaking religion. This is all there. Now, usually when you venture off in spirituality and you're talking about meditation and yoga and things like that, excuse me, you start talking about, like if you ever look it up, sometimes people like to have what they call an ego death, which is basically to let all of that go so you can basically view others for them, I guess you should say, right? Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because there are a lot of people in a lot of walks of life that like to get to this point that they've learned so much stuff, and then they want to judge others people's for not living the same way that they are. Now, the reason that this is a bad thing is because you're not going to have anybody that wants to learn anything about what you're doing. So you're not going to, if you want to help others because you know that what worked for you and what you're doing is helping you, then you need to check your ego. And nobody wants to work with anybody that's like, you're doing wrong, you going to hell type of thing. Because that's what we do at church. You know, like people are at church and they think they on their way to heaven, and they uppity, and then they just look down on anybody that's classified as a sinner, but they forget that 2 years prior to them being saved, that they were also a sinner and sleeping with somebody's married husband and doing drugs or whatever the case may be. You get what I'm saying? So what I'm talking about is because I've only been on this path for maybe, I want to say like 2 or 3 years or so, right? Now, I'm not by any means saying that I'm perfect. It was just that I finally got to a place and I do know some things. I'm not saying by any means that I know everything. And there's nothing wrong with me not knowing everything. It's the fact that I'm still learning. There are things that I still research. And even before I do videos, I make sure I research things for you guys. So then that way you're well informed with everything that I'm telling you, right? Few things about me, and I try to be open about this because this bugged me when I first got into it. One reason that I started this channel was due to the fact that there were so many videos that were out there with everybody that quote unquote had it together. And the reason this stuff bugged me, there's nothing wrong with seeing somebody that had it together, but what bugs me is when you act like everything is perfect and you know everything, and then you don't show, well, this is how I started, this is what I used to be, this is how I got here now, these are some of my struggles. You get what I'm saying? And people are like embarrassed to show their struggles, okay? For me, for example, I'm transitioning to being vegan. For the most part, I haven't had like pizza for 2 months or anything like that. But at the same time, there's still things that included dairy that I have had. And I tell you that because I'm letting you know, because I didn't have an on-off switch for this stuff. You get what I'm saying? And you need to know that, because in order for you to grow, you have to see like, damn, she's actually working towards this, and you know, she may not be perfect, but she's still striving for it, because I want you to feel the same way. And no one's going to want any help from somebody that's not going to tell you that. So I'm trying to let people know that if you are getting into this and you're starting to take on this form of ego that's like, oh, well, I'm better than you and you don't know and you need to do this, you need to do that. Understand something. First off, your path is not the only way to get to where they need to be, okay? My journey might not be perfect for somebody else watching. Somebody else is going to go through a whole different set of steps. There are some people that this will work perfect for, and there's certain people that'll probably be like, you know what, this ain't going to work for me at all, but you know what, forget it, I don't want to do it. But at the end of the day, if you're happy, then I'm happy. And I have to stand at that standpoint because not everybody in your life is going to agree with you full-heartedly. Not everybody is going to sit there and say, you know what, I'm going to lock my hair, I'm going to turn vegan, I'm going to study Hinduism and Buddhism and whatever. Some people aren't called to do that. That's not their walk of life. That's not their journey to go through. And understand that in order to help others, if like one of your goals is to help like other people to get into this, you have to check your ego. You have to check your ego. There's nothing more aggravating than to see somebody that thinks they know it all, that got it all together, and then, you know, you're like, it gets you discouraged. You know, it makes you discouraged when you like, dang, they making it look like everything's perfect and I'm doing everything so wrong. That doesn't make me feel any better. It doesn't necessarily make you want to follow that person, anything like that. So that's all I really wanted to say about this video. I also want to thank all of my new subscribers. Thank you for the comments and the feedback. I am forever grateful for that. I'm so glad that these videos are actually helping others. That is one of my ultimate goals, and this is why I started it, because I got sick of these perfect videos and people didn't really talk about how they got there, how to get there, and I do want to do more videos on that. So I will talk to you guys later, and please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and talk to you guys later.